But what can we help you with today?
Well, my wife and I, we are already separated. We're definitely on our way to divorce, but I really need to get into a different home or condo. This place just feels really, like our old life. Can I do that, or do I have to wait until the divorce, is final? Because there's all these dates, and it's just like, I just need to move.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really tough one. Keith, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Have you guys filed a formalized separation agreement?
Yeah, we are formally separated.
Okay. And with so the question about can I buy a new house? The answer is, and Darcy, you said it earlier, it depends.
It depends.
Right? I hate giving that answer because it keeps you kind of in limbo. The number one situation behind buying a new house is, can you qualify for both payments? Yeah. Right? So when we look at the mortgage side of things, we understand that you're going through a separation and what will culminate into a divorce. And so many people, because typically there's one party that's going to be displaced. They're out of the house altogether, so they want to go buy another house. If we haven't had a formal divorce decree that's been signed by the judge, we still have to look at that in debt to income ratio qualifications. So the question would be, could you afford both houses? And does your income support that? If your income does support that, you totally could make that transition out. Yeah. The nice thing that helps clean up the transaction once the divorce is finalized, if the departing residence was awarded to the ex, then guess what? We get to take that mortgage payment off your debt to income ratio. So that's where there's another layer. Divorce is helpful once we have that final divorce decree in hand and all that good stuff that goes along with that. But the separation of legacy debt between the two of you is still in play until we get that final divorce decree.
Yeah, and I'm going to add to that. There are times that the escrow team might actually want the future ex-spouse to sign something saying that they have no right to this place that you're purchasing.
That is, yes.
And that can be a really big thing because sometimes divorces are not so amicable.
Right.
So that needs to get weighed into your decision on doing this or not if you think your future former spouse will sign something being like, yep, she bought this with her own money. We're going to go ahead and let this just be Sam's.
So this roadblock is super, super important, Sam, because what happens all the time, this happens a lot more than people understand, is to Darcy's point, we are a community property state here in Washington. So if there is a marital asset that is brought into the union while it's still being viewed by the state, right? Now you have to get that soon-to-be ex to sign what's called a quitclaim deed and release all interest of the property to you while you guys are still married. That's where it kind of gets sticky. And unfortunately, there's a lot of folks that go out there and start this process. That's the first question that if you were to come to me and say, hey, Keith, I want to buy a new house. I'm currently separated. I have legal separation in place and we're going through the process of divorce. The first question that I always ask folks that come to me in this position is your ex willing to sign a quitclaim deed? Yeah. If they're not, they're going to have to go on title and they're going to have to, and then that asset now becomes part of the divorce proceedings. Right. And it makes a more muddied water.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's it's not insurmountable. We just have to make sure that everybody's willing to sign on the dotted line.
Yeah. Okay. I see. Well, it sounds like I have some thinking to do. Thank you for your help.
Yeah. And once the divorce is final, then it's a completely different ballgame depending on how the assets fall out and the credit liabilities get distributed.
Absolutely.